What kind of advantage can you get from a FlexVolt battery? We'll find out in just a moment. I'm Tim Johnson. You're watching Shop Tool Reviews. What we have here today is the DeWalt DCG416 angle grinder. Now it's a little bit different than its predecessor, the DCG413 that you see sitting here, because this is the FlexVolt Advantage tool. What does that mean? Well, we're about to find out. Basically, it means that you can utilize the FlexVolt battery on this tool and gain some power by doing it. Now let's get started. We'll come back and wrap it up. What we have here is the DeWalt DCG413 and the DeWalt DCG416 angle grinders. Now, they may look the same on the outside, but they do have some differences. Let's talk specifically about the differences. Number one is they claim this has the FlexVolt Advantage. Now, you may say, you know what, I can put a FlexVolt battery on any DeWalt 20-volt tool and it will work and it'll run longer. That is correct. That will work. The FlexVolt battery will work on their 60-volt tools as well as on all their 20-volt tools. Now, that doesn't mean that the tool will react to the battery and therefore react differently or in some senses give more power. That's what the FlexVolt Advantage is supposed to do. They're claiming more than 50% increase in power, up to 1550 watts out on this new DCG416. So what is the real difference, or what are the real differences? So on the outside, one thing I noticed is that the guard on the 413 says 115 millimeters, and the guard on the 416 says 125 millimeters. And then I got to looking, and sure enough, it says this is a 5-inch grinder, this is a 4.5-inch grinder. So they're claiming basically with the power upgrade, they can turn a 5-inch wheel on this versus just a 4.5. So there's one. As far as internals, haven't looked at that yet. They both have e-brakes. They also both have brushless motors on them, and you can see they basically look identical as far as the rubber overmolding, everything else, the handles and where they hook up, the spindle locks, all that pretty much identical on this. Another difference here is this is tool connect ready. You can see here this little plate here that can be unscrewed once you take the battery off. The 413 is not ready for that. So this will take advantage of Tool Connect, so you can connect your tools to the DeWalt app, be able to track those, see where they are, same things like that. Both have the paddle switch on this. I think you can also get both of these with a slide lock as well. But anyway, both of these still have a paddle switch. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to actually use these and throw them in a couple of tests and see if there's a difference between the two, and then also see if there is a difference with putting the FlexVolt battery on, actually on both of these, and see if they both step up or if one is significantly more than the other. Let's get started. Okay, so we're going to change it up a little from, I believe, what I was saying when we were talking about the features. So we're going to take the DCG413 and the 416, and we're going to run 6 amp hour batteries on both of these. We're going to do that because the FlexVolt battery is a 6 amp hour battery. Let's see, does it truly step it up when using a FlexVolt battery compared to just a 20 volt with the 6 amp hour battery on it. So we'll run the 413 first, and then we'll change it over to a FlexVolt battery, see if we get any bump in performance. And then we'll go to the 416, run it with the 6.0 battery, and then change it out to the FlexVolt battery. Okay, let's go. By the way, in running these, I'm going to be hanging a 5-pound weight off of the front of this so that we get even pressure, and then I'm just going to hold the back of the tool as we start our cut and then let it go. Let's run another cut. Okay, now we're going to change out to the FlexVolt battery. Full charge on it. One more. Okay, I will say with the naked eye and just seat of the pants feel, I think I noticed a little bit, but not a whole bunch. Now I used the same blade on all 4 of those cuts, so I'll do the same when we switch over to the 416. Okay, so now we have the DCG416 with the 6 amp hour battery. Got a full charge on that. Okay, now we'll change out to the FlexVolt battery. And even though we've got still a pretty new disc on there, I'm going to go ahead and change this out. And then our FlexVolt battery, full charge. By the way, that's one thing I like about the FlexVolt batteries. You notice that with DeWalt, with the FlexVolt, I can push that and it stays on. With their regular batteries, I have to hold the button. It's kind of a pain. Once you release, you can't see it anymore. I really like that about the FlexVolt, that they stay on. Anyway, just a small pet peeve of mine. So now let's see if the FlexVolt will do something different than with the 6 amp hour battery. All right, here we go. Okay, timing-wise, I don't know if the time will show it. We'll see that in a moment. But definitely seat of the pants, I can feel a difference. Now, is it a 50% bump? I don't know. I can't say that I could see that. Now, if I were cutting through 1/2 inch, I might see that. But there's definitely a lot less bog in going to the FlexVolt, and I definitely noticed a difference more so in the new 416 than the 413. So it is taking advantage of the FlexVolt battery and providing me more power through the cut. It does not bog whatsoever. I'm going to go ahead and make a couple of cuts just freehand, again, just to get that seat of the pants feel. Go back to the 6.0. Again, not that the 6.0 does bad at all. In fact, I was probably pushing as hard as I want to on a Type 1 blade like this, cutting through this 1/4-inch metal, 1/4-inch steel, and it still pushed through. But you definitely hear a bog in this motor and feel a bog in it, versus with the FlexVolt, it basically wanted anything I could throw at it, if you will. Okay, the same thing here. I've got a brand new ceramic disc on here, ceramic grinding disc for surface prep. I'm going to hang the same 5-pound weight off of the front of this, and I'm going to put our 6.0 battery back on. And we've got a full charge. Full charge on the FlexVolt. So we're going to hang the 5-pound weight off of there. We're going to turn this on, and we're going to grind some of this paint and metal off of here, and just to see kind of what a difference it makes. Okay, first, the 5-pound weight's not doing anything. Not near enough to provide any bog for this, so. Okay, let's go to our FlexVolt. Okay, that is definitely not the wheel that I would use to bevel metal like that or to bevel steel like that, but it definitely has the power to do it. Let me go back to the 6 amp hour. Okay, you can see right away I can bog that pretty easily with the 6 amp hour battery if I really dig in there. And even stop the tool. Okay? But with that FlexVolt, okay, I'm really extremely pushing to stop that wheel. Now, with a typical aluminum oxide disc on there, I could probably stop it a little easier, but this disc just wants to eat the metal basically. But I will tell you, seat of the pants, definitely a difference in the FlexVolt battery, in the Flex Advantage tool. Okay, I'm about to give you a very political conclusion here, meaning that I'm going to kind of be fair across the board, say that all these are great grinders. And what's this beast doing here? I'll explain in just a moment. So the 413 has got some miles on it. We use it around the shop all the time. It works great. Works great with the 20-volt batteries. The new 416 is supposed to be the FlexVolt Advantage to take advantage of the FlexVolt batteries to not only give longer runtime, but also increase power quite a bit. Did we notice that power increase? Absolutely. But it was more seat of the pants feel. As you saw in our times there was a couple of anomalies that took longer cuts than usual, but I think it was kind of across the board. There was one that was like 34 seconds with the FlexVolt battery on the 416. Then there was another one, I think, with the FlexVolt on the 413 that took longer. I don't know if it was a hard spot in the steel or whatever it was, but it definitely took longer, but I think it was an anomaly. It could have been just me not starting the cut well, whatever it may be. But when you boiled it down, the FlexVolt definitely got into that, 12 and 13 second range on both of these tools, really. But I think it was one of those cases where that 5 pounds hanging on it just really wasn't, making it stress enough to allow that FlexVolt to take advantage of that additional power. And again, I'm not trying to cop out here because we're comparing a tool against itself, if you will. But you could notice it. I'm telling you, when you pulled the trigger and you bared down on it, especially with the grinding, you could definitely tell there was more power outputting from the FlexVolt battery than even from the 6.0 battery. Especially when we laid it over and started doing a bevel grind on that steel, which again, I would never do with this type of disc, but why not? Could we make it stop? Absolutely. You know, I could stop it with the 6.0, I could stop it with the FlexVolt. And by the way, once we went to grinding, we didn't try to bother of comparing these two again. I was just kind of trying to set a bar, if you will, to kind of see if there was a difference between the two tools. The FlexVolt Advantage is definitely taking advantage more of the FlexVolt battery. So again, why am I not separating these two more? Because they're both $199. So in a sense, why would you buy this tool if you can get this for $199? Now let me throw another wrench in the fan. This is $199. Yes, this is the DCG416, 3 horsepower, just beast of a grinder. We think this is probably your best bang for your buck cordless grinder out there. If you're looking for just who's got the most horsepower for the bang for the buck, we think this is the grinder right here, because you can buy this tool for $199 for the bare tool or $299 with a FlexVolt battery and charger. Anyway, not trying to throw another one in the fire, but that's my point here. These two are $199. Why wouldn't you buy this tool? Because both of them are great tools. This one's going to take advantage more of the FlexVolt battery. But again, if you're looking for just pure horsepower, why wouldn't you buy the 413? Then you say, well, Tim, why would you recommend the 416 if the 413 can be bought for the same price? And my point there would be, if you're just looking for a more compact grinder, and if you're looking for something where you don't have to run the FlexVolt battery, because keep in mind, this is an actual FlexVolt tool, so you have to run a FlexVolt battery on this. You can't run a 20-volt battery on a FlexVolt tool. It's taking advantage of that 60 volts. It's a 60-volt max tool. So if you're needing that beast of a tool, by all means, get the 413. But the 416 does do a good job of, again, taking advantage of a FlexVolt battery when you need to give that little bit more power, a little bit more grind out of it. That's why it's rated for a 5-inch wheel versus the 4.5-inch wheel on the 413. Hey, check it out from DeWalt. Again, it's the DCG416. The old one's the 413. You want the beast? It's the 418. Also, keep track of us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. If you don't mind, would you hit that like and subscribe button, but only if you like this video. If you didn't like this video, give us that thumbs down. But would you let us know in the comments why? Have a great day and keep smiling.